All right. A lot happened in that. Certainly so. Energetic imprints. Energy is activated within you. Nothing that is surprising. And yet, if you've been feeling a lack of energy or a lack of movement, know that that's important to activate spirit. But to activate spirit, you must connect with soul. To connect with soul, you must connect with higher self. So as you do the processes in this way, first allowing yourself, you can connect any way you wish. This meditation, absolutely one way to connect, allowing you to journey from safety with higher self to the temple of soul, where you can be with soul and remember who you are, gathering from that knowing, from that awareness, and activating spirit to go gather more of what you are dreaming, for there's always more. It's not separate from you. You are part of that initiating energy. By choice, you make the choices, you give the permission, you have the authority, you see. And so to begin to explore that, allow yourself to be more free. All right. And we do have time for a few questions. We believe there's a shorter list, and we'll get to the rest of you next week.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
Well, that was a perfect meditation, and I'll look forward to repeating it. Um, I wrote to Katharina earlier today about wanting to ask a question, and yet I feel like I recycle sometimes maybe the same question. I am, I know that I'm in a big time of change, and I feel like I'm not getting clarity and answers about what's next and what to do and action to take. Um,
And what did you notice in the meditation around that?
Nothing.
So, what's important is not to take action for action's sake, but to take inspired action. Inspired action means in spirit, meaning allowing yourself to know that you matter. And when you allow
Mhm.
yourself to matter, it is your soul that is calling you to be. Okay, who am I being now? Am I being the more of me? Am I taking the time to really, truly just be in the joy of being? That is soul. And then in that joy of being in soul, inspiration occurs. New ideas, new concepts, conception, perception, all of that occurs in that state of being. And then from that, spirit is activated to go gather those energies of manifestation for you. It's all seamless. And then when you come back from that state of connection into the physical, okay, what do I want to, what step do I want to take next? I don't have to take all the steps. I don't even have to know what they are. I just have to take one step forward because you've chosen the direction, you see, you've chosen the outcome. But what if I don't know what it's going to look like? Does it have feelings? Well, how do you want to feel? Who do you want to be in that optimal future? Well, I want to feel good. I want to feel connected. I want to have a sense of beauty and I want to be at peace and I want to relax and I want to have a flow of abundance. So we're just giving you some ideas. But as you just understand, that's really all that is required when you choose the direction you're going in. And then out of that, your spirit is gathering the energies. What does that mean? the energies of manifestation, instructing, co-creating with earth consciousness, the forms that will be, that will come into being, that are already in effect there. They just need to come into your attention, come into your realm, so to speak. So of all the possible realities you could be creating, let's make it very sort of direct. You didn't come into this lifetime to flounder, to not be sure of who you are, to not really know what you can or cannot do. You came into this lifetime as a map maker magician, and you said, I'm going to create a journey where I know that about me. I'm not going to be perfect. There will be times when I will doubt, but I will always get back on track because I'm not alone on this journey. I have a higher self. I have a soul. I have a spirit. I have God and Goddess. And I am part of that. And as I make this journey, there will be times when I'm not as connected, but I'm always going to find my way back. Because when I connect, something new shows up that wasn't there before. And this truly is an illusion. Hard to believe sometimes. Each of you make the physical so real sometimes. But what there is of the physical to explore, you have to bring it back to who am I being? So as you give yourself that sense of, well, the beingness is very ephemeral, is very fluid. The being of me is so big and so expansive. How do I fit it into this purpose of this lifetime? The purpose, though, is that expansion. The purpose is, as you remember, oh, I'm here to be expanded. I'm here to grow. I'm here to become more. That these activities in the physical plane are just mile markers. They're just measuring of, well, who am I now? And who am I next? And who am I next? And who am I next? And how do I know who I truly am from these activities? Well, a lot of times you realize, well, it wasn't the activity that makes me who I am. It's what I bring to the activity that makes it either worthwhile or not so worthwhile. And so as you restore yourself back to the goodness, the truth, and the beauty of who you are, the soul that you are, the soul having a physical experience, in that context, you can be more free to make mistakes, even because no mistake is going to be a mistake. You will always grow from it. You will always learn from the situation, whatever it is. Now, along the way, you want more elegance, you want more ease, you want it with harm to none, you want it with less pain, without struggle, without suffering, without martyrhood, whatever the things that you've been shedding of yourself. Well, those are your backdrop now. They're not your future. But how do I know what the future is? Well, it's time to explore. It's time to imagine and create and ask your higher self to add their imagination. They already are, but you can give that conscious permission. You know what, higher self? I need something more dramatic than what I've been getting because I can't figure it out. So I need a message that is clear. Many of you know that when you actually ask for it and mean it, you immediately get clarity. You get a message from your illusion. Something shows up, a license plate or a sticker, or somebody has a conversation with you, or you find something. You go through your things and you find something. Oh my gosh, this is important to me. I forgot. So as you let yourself be in creative mode, you're starting a new foundation. You have built it already. The new foundation is free of the past, but has a backdrop of the past. That backdrop is fluid, and the future is wide open. Now, some of you get anxious when you think about how wide open that future is. And we're reminding you week by week how open it is, how free you are to create something new. But you're not going to create just anything. You want to create something that represents to you an expansion of who you are. And it's meaningful to you. When we say these words, it means something to you that it doesn't necessarily mean to other people. It may be along the lines of free to create, free to voice, free to move, free to relax, be at peace. Each of you have something that maybe it's around passion. I want a relationship so that I can express my love. I want the intimacy. I want the caring. As you just pick, you don't have just one choice here that it doesn't have to be perfect. You can actually choose 50. And then when you write all those out, you're going to find there's themes. But actually, when I can see how this group is about having a relationship, this group is about having purpose and meaning in my career. This is about having more ease with money. This is about being healthy and having vitality and waking up with joy every morning. And this is about my spirituality. And when I look at all of them, one of them is a priority. Sometimes it's your spirituality, not all the time. And don't fault yourself for that. Your higher self's not going away just because you say, I want to focus on making money for a while, or I want to focus on being loving in the physical plane for a while. Your higher self's not going to abandon you if you say, I'm done meditating. I just want to be in the world. I want to enjoy it. I want it to be fluid. I want to effort and feel what it feels like to have a good, healthy bank account. And I kind of lost my sense of magic. So I'm gonna resort to physical activity for a while. And when you do that, you're gonna find your higher self's there anyway. In every decision you make, in every action you take, that you're never really disconnected. And when you let that be real, there's joy there, there's love there, there's peace and contentment. Does that help?
Not yet. um,
So
Thank you.
there
That
must
was all really beautiful.
so there's something
And
specific you're dealing with that you're holding out for. So you
am
don't
I holding out for it? I want to know uh, where I should live. And I'm not getting any clear, and I'm asking my higher self to give me signs. And I went on a road trip to visit some friends, and with an openness of uh, being open for signs. And I, as long as I'm traveling and driving in beauty and listening to things that move me, I'm really happy. I'm But then I wake up early in the morning and my negative mind starts telling me how, oh, you should you should have this figured out. Um and
so you already know that's not your higher self.
yes.
Yes, that's your inner critic. So comes from what it your lesser self, we'll call it your lesser self as part of that. that aspect, who just wants safety, just wants to survive, doesn't really have any plans for the future, isn't really interested in the future, and does not have the capacity to create futures. So when it comes to choosing a future, you don't want to go to that part of yourself. That part doesn't have the answer. That part can only speak to the past. What didn't
Sure.
work and what you should have done, what you could have done. And so then, as you say, that brings you down. So you
Right. And then I do work and I you
you
bring myself back up to a neutral place and I'm with it. And I'm not getting clarity. I'm not getting messages about where to go. And um, I was thinking today that I remember a long, long time ago when I was unhappily married, my first marriage. I would do these retreats trying to get clarity about if I was done, if I should leave. And a 30-day retreat, at the end of the retreat, I wasn't clear. And so the message would be, well, you have to stay until you're clear. Not you have to, but then it's not clear. And it feels a little bit that way now. I know that there's unrest. I know I'm not I'm not really happy with my life. I'm not unhappy with it. I'm just know that I could be happier and I don't know what steps to take.
so what's so you have created a life that you enjoy, driving, exploring in the beauty, time to reflect.
It's not where I want to be all the time though.
Yeah. So when you think of, put yourself in your imagination in that mode where things are good and I don't really have any needs and I'm driving along and I'm enjoying life and it's beautiful. But there is a longing for something else.
Right.
Follow the longing. That's your next step, whatever it is. And then you're going to come up on, well, I long for it and I feel separate from it. And that just causes me to be uncomfortable and upset that I don't have it yet. But you see, the next thing, you wouldn't have it until you have the belief and until you have all the raw materials you need to create it. So you have to go gather. But the first step is to define what you want.
Well, I know I want community. I know I want to live in a place that makes me happy. I know lots of things. And I guess one of my questions is this a matter of me being impatient and not, not trusting that, you know, it's the clarity's not here now. That's okay.
So what happens if you make the choice instead of asking? What happens if you just make a choice? For some people, it's an impossibility. They just know that if they choose it, it's not going to work.
Well, I also tell myself it's okay if I go to a place and discover it's not the right place. I can go to another place. Intellectually, I understand that. I'm also afraid of making a decision, the right decision. I don't know. I guess it's being stuck in this place of, is this about me being impatient and not trusting that the clarity and the answers will come at the right time? And until then, just enjoy how it is. That's my main question. And is that an answer that I need to be giving to myself instead of asking you? You know what this is where I feel like I'm looping and frustrated with myself.
So the you that is anxious to get it done is not the you that will create it. The part of you that has to just settle down, make a choice, get it done. is different than the you who wants to be free, to explore.
Mm.
And so you already can tell, yeah, I'm impatient. That's one way to put it. But it's really just, no, I need space to create.
Mm.
And there will come a time where in my creating, I get presented the opportunities. It's just part of spirit gathers the energies and then presents them as opportunities. So if you're not seeing opportunities, allow yourself to be creative, to enter that creative space and define it, not knowing how
Define what? Define
who
more
you're going to
clearly
be,
what I'm looking for,
who
or
you're going to be in the new you. Who's the new you in this new creation?
well,
Who are
I
you
feel like
becoming?
I'm clear with that. The new me is one who maybe it's that I feel clear about that, and a part of me feels like I can't have that because the new me is feeling connected, feeling like I am in the right place.
Yes. And it doesn't agree with your past. Well, your upbringing. Because you have had a life of exploration. So you already know what you like. You
How
already
did
know
to think
what it feels
I
like.
like so many different things. I'm in the Southwest in the high mountain desert. I love it. And then I'm like, oh, it's starting to get cold. I love the tropics. I love lots of things, and that's where I keep myself confused. Maybe this isn't, this is nice for now. I don't know this is where I really want to live.
Yeah. And that's important information. I don't think I want to just stick with one place. Can I want that? Can I want the flexibility to be different places at different times of the year? Do people do that?
And maybe I was thinking about this recently that I do like to live in different places and travel different places. And yet I'm so much wanting my own home. And that, but those two things are opposing, so that keeps me unhappy instead of relaxing into it. I have been thinking about that.
Yeah, very important to look to see where do I feel at home? Is it a place or is it a state of being? Does it really matter? Is the house really relevant or is it a sense of home? So as you explore that theme, what do I call home? And not just within yourself, but also with other people. How do you know when you're at home with someone where you get to be you, where you're free to be? Now, the having of a home is a beautiful enterprise. It's a creative enterprise, but its function is more than meeting survival needs.
Well, I
Like,
guess a part of what comes up for me is that I love having a home, and it's something I haven't given myself for a while. And So then what comes up for me is, okay, but that takes time. The property needs to sell, these things need to be taken care of. I can see that that could take at least months. So then it comes up the question about patience.
Yes. But in those months, do you just wait? Or is there a lot of activity involved? As you say, I've been driving, looking for what feels like home. They're looking for a place to call
I'm
home.
actually I'm actually not looking for home on this trip. It's a trip to let I'm calling it a vision quest, to allow vision to come in. And I even said to myself, so I'm traveling for 4 to 6 weeks, and to allow vision to come in. And the places I'm going are not necessarily places I'm looking with the eyes of, is this where I want to live? It's more visiting different friends, being open, bringing joy back, because Texas was really, really difficult. And I need to go back there and complete things, but I needed a break. And so I said, and maybe it's just that I put it out and I need to lean stronger into it, because I did label it, okay, this is a vision quest. I'm open to receive vision. And at the end of the trip, if I'm not clear, the vision quest will also be that I'll be okay with not having clarity. And so maybe it's that I put that out and I'm needing to lean stronger into that
Yes,
instead
beautiful,
of listening to the negative voices. Okay,
wonderful. We love you so.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you
There's
so much.
magic in the telling, just to talk it through for yourself, to remember, oh, wait a minute, I did actually set parameters around this trip. Fascinating. All
Yeah,
right. We love you so.
thank you.
You're right on track. All right. And who is next, John? Henry.
Hello, Tara.
Yes, dear one.
Wonderful to be with you again.
Absolutely.
Um, a lot of the things that Jessica was talking about were um, things that have, um, in many ways, what I thought my life would be in my teens is I just thought I'd be traveling around the world, going where I wanted to be, doing all that sort of thing. And I always said, well, I'm sure I'll learn lots of languages and just have lots of adventures and things like that. And that is absolutely not what happened. And I, even when I went into television, there was a show which was basically a travel documentary series, just about different countries, and not travel. I mean, important things about what was going on in the country. And I thought, oh, I'd really want to work on that, but I found I didn't want. I, I didn't have the. I was afraid about the being able to cope and being able to just cope with all sorts of things that I wouldn't know. And this is what we've been talking now about, me kind of pulling in. And last week when you talked about Marta, it kind of came as a bit of a surprise. But then I looked at my life and I was just looking and look at, yes, how important just that martyrhood thing has been, and how just constrictive it is, and and the punishment of it. And I understand where it all came from. And this last week I haven't progressed very well with with working with my child and adolescent with it and going to it, and it's kind of sinking in to a thing. I'm just realizing what a wonderful place I live in, and I mean it's just the most fantastic place in Venice by the beach, and I've been here 30 years, and it's been fantastic, and I haven't really appreciated it, and I just think I'm throwing it away at the moment, and I'm just, what the hell am I doing? And then it's the martyrhood, and that's kind of more important than anything else, and and I'm not dealing with still not dealing with the taxes and those things, and it's 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 not good. I wonder if you could.
So as far as the martyrhood goes, good, wonderful. You recognized, okay, yeah, that's there. Hadn't really been noticing it in the self-pity. So now a different angle to look at. Okay, so who is important to blame, to punish, to make responsible for myself? So higher self, God, goddess. So to your child, it would have been one of your parents. To your adolescent, would have been someone close to them, maybe a mate or a girlfriend or a parent, could have been.
Yes, well,
But as you look at yourself, okay, who do I blame for me just not doing what I'm supposed to do? Whatever that is. We're just using that phrase because you have that in your explanation of why things aren't the way you want them to be. Well, it's because I'm not doing things. Maybe, maybe not. But it sure is a good one and everybody believes it.
that's
But what if it's just as easy as making a new choice? Well, no, it can't be that easy. Can't be that easy. I would have done it already, wouldn't I have? So, what is important about continuing to choose the same reality that causes pain, that causes blame and shame and upset? But you gave yourself a break last week. I can see the beauty in what I have chosen.
mm,
And I haven't appreciated it as much as I could have. You have appreciated it.
yeah,
It's so much a part of who you are. Your identity is the you that lives in Venice Beach and the environment that is for you. So supportive, so wonderful. Allows you to be a free spirit, allows you to be creative, allows you access to people in your industry, the industry you want to be in, the
yeah.
arts. So as you've been in that appreciation, well, martyrhood doesn't exist in appreciation. And you still don't want to do those things that aren't in that resonance. And the things that aren't in that resonance are doing the things that you consider duty and obligation. So how do you get things done and still be in that appreciation?
Well, that's what I'm asking myself. I just
Well,
find it
one of the keys here, and this is really important for all of you, really, is when you have a reality you don't want and you get stuck in it, you recognize this isn't what I want. Some of you get angry, some of you get depressed, some of you go into self-pity, whatever, martyrhood, whatever's there. You're going to pick up whatever it is you always bring. A lot of times you're just going to shame yourself. This is a shouldn't be. I shouldn't have created it this way. What's wrong with me? But that cycle of commentary was learned behavior.
Mm.
And in doing that, engaging in that, you disconnect from your higher self. You're suddenly all alone, and life isn't working, and it's not the way you want it to be. And here you sit in your home, stuck with things you don't want to do. And suddenly the magic is gone, the miracles and the asking for miracles and the connecting with higher self and asking for help is gone, and the being willing to have it be different is gone, and you're just, well, I still have to do it. I don't see how I can't find my way out of this. The only thing I want is for it to be gone. I'm not actually interested in a solution. To me, the solution is make it go away. Higher self, God, goddess, soul, spirit, whoever. All of my unseen friends at this point are to blame for it not going away because they're powerful and I'm not. Except that's a falsehood. Because your power as a conscious mind in the physical plane is choice. And all you can say is, I didn't choose this. I didn't do it. I didn't choose it. However you tell yourself, it's not me. I didn't do this. Take it away. But you can't just not choose it. You did choose it on some level. You chose a reality. Now you don't. Did you choose taxes consciously? No, but you dropped into a reality where taxes are part of the way that wealth is redistributed somehow. The roads are built, the education systems are, the healthcare, whatever. And taxes have a purpose. The more money you make, the more you have to pay. The less you make, the less you have to pay. Some of you are sort of sabotaging your wealth because you don't want to pay any taxes. There are ways to manage taxes. We are not a financial consultant, but there are creative ways that are legal, that are for you, that are by design for you in your reality. Now, some of you don't want to deal with, don't want to know that you created taxes. On some level, by allowing it, they're not going to go away. They're an efficiency. Of all the realities you could have created, are there ones without taxes? Yes. But are they the ones you want to exist in? No. Because you do care about society. The more you care, the more compassion you have, the more willing you are to share the abundance, whatever that level is. And when you're not the one who's abundant, you're willing to receive from the abundance. So it's see taxes and income and taxes as a form of giving and receiving. It's an efficiency, just like money is an efficiency. It's more elegant to create money as a vehicle for exchanging wants and needs than the bartering system, though some of you enjoy the bartering. There's relationship in it, there's community in it. And so it works better for you because you get more rather than just transacting and exchanging, give and take, give and take, give and take. So, but money is one of your creative solutions. All of you created money and bartering and all the other forms. Cryptocurrencies, everything, that you're creating wonderful vehicles for allowing an exchange of energy. And And some of you don't want any of that, and you just want to live off the grid. And that's completely valid too, where you then are self-sufficient. I'm just going to grow all my own food. I'm going to raise my animals. I'm going to school my children. And I'm going to exist like I imagine I used to when times were simpler. And that's valid for that person who chooses that. But understand that person who chooses that today also created all those forms of money and vehicles and taxes. So as you really get that, wow, I created taxes. I created something that makes me feel really, really bad. It's unfinished business with an authority figure, the big bad wolf. What part of me is afraid? What part of me thinks I cannot handle that authority? It's not your spiritual adult. And when you bring your child to the conversation of taxes, it's unfair. It's a shouldn't be. He can't handle it. He's little. He's young. He doesn't even earn money. He shouldn't have to deal with taxes. Now, the adolescent, if he started work early or on time in America, age 16 or whatever the age is, if you started earning, you probably had money taken out of your check pretty early on and you kind of understood taxes. Did you know to miss it? Maybe, probably not. You were just happy to get your paycheck. And it was the number on your paycheck that you were concerned about, not the amount that was coming out of that check. As you refocus, wow, I have a tax issue. I must have made some money. I must have done pretty well. Now, I may not have it anymore at this moment. And so then there's a crisis because there's a lack. But there are ways to communicate as a spiritual adult about, things changed after COVID or during COVID or before COVID or before whatever. Things changed for me. Are you willing to have adult conversations and take back your authority? Are you willing to forgive yourself in advance of those conversations? Because you see, projecting parent onto this authority figure doesn't help you one bit, because by definition, you're going to identify as child. And then you're helpless. And your fear of, I'm just going to get in trouble, is a resonance. Do you really want to exist in that resonance when you have a different one available to you? You have the one where you love yourself more, where you ask for help from experts who know how to deal with your problem. When you love yourself more, you're willing to show up as the adult you are and have interesting conversations, valuable conversations where, oh my gosh, this is part of my reality. I really haven't prepared myself. I better go get some experience. Or I might just own up that, hey, I've neglected it because I just didn't even know where to begin. I guess I need to figure this out. Can you help me? But when you're in child, you cannot have those conversations. You're just busy hiding. I don't want to get punished. a good strategy when you're 4 or 5. Not a good strategy when you're an adult. So as you understand, okay, I haven't really wanted to work with my child or my adolescent. They're on your stage. Start working with them when you have that thought. Now, when you have spent a bit of time with them and taken them off your stage, given them the freedom not to deal with your taxes, this is not your problem. It's really all you have to say every morning. This is not your problem. And then you can feel sorry for yourself that you still have the problem. But don't let that last more than 5 minutes, because as the adult, you have your higher self. Something your child and your adolescent didn't know. And when you let your higher self love you in spite of the fact that you have a problem, I'm really afraid to ask for help. Higher self, help me ask for help. And your higher self's going to remind you of all the areas where you have been very good about getting help. You have been okay with asking for help here and there. Just in this topic, the stuff comes up. So you want to ask for a new solution. I need a new way to think about this. I haven't been able to think about it in any other way other than I screwed up, I'm a screw up, I failed, I'm a failure, and now the authority, the big bad authority, is coming knocking on the door. And I'm scared, I'm terrified. But as you let yourself know, those emotions are not adult emotions in this case. All of those emotions are coming from your child or your adolescent or both. And they deserve to be free of those. They deserve it. You have the tools. You know how to receive the help. So we're talking to you, Henry, but we're actually talking to all of you for what area in your life are you neglecting your being able to respond because you think you're not enough, that you're a failure. It's a problem too big for you to handle. There's no such thing. Your higher self always provides the resources you need. Your soul, your spirit, always, they're just waiting for your permission. Are you going to let us help you? Are you going to let us be more real in your life? What would you have to give up? Well, I'd have to give up blaming you that it's not working. I'd have to give up that I'm not worth loving. I'd have to give up that I'm too weak, that I'm too little, too young. I would have to give up doing it alone, trying to fix it before anyone else finds out. That's a form of shame. And as you ask that to be lifted, and it can be lifted, but not by you. You can't process this out. You have to ask your higher self to lift the shame of being and see it lifted from your adolescent and your child. And then ask for a new energy that supports who you're becoming. And once you're in that new energy, then ask for solutions. Look, I know I've been going around about this all the wrong way. I've been pretending it's not a problem, and then I know it's a problem, and then I avoid the problem anyway, and then I talk to people about it, and they give me ideas, but I don't want to do any of those things because I really just want to avoid it all over again. I know I've been doing that. It's not working. I want magic, but I don't trust myself. And I haven't really been willing to receive the help. For whatever reason, only you know. What keeps you from asking for help? What keeps you from being vulnerable with your higher self? As you just let that go and understand every moment is a new moment. I can take responsibility, meaning I can respond. I have that ability. It's one of the gifts that I have. Often I squander it. I avoid responding. But it's actually something I can say I have. I have that ability. All right. We love you so.
Yes.
So the tax man's not going away.
No.
That's not the where do you want to put your creative energy. But you can put your energy into creating solutions that you couldn't imagine. Create wonderful, miraculous solutions. Stop pretending you know the outcome. Stop pretending that your knowing it's going to be bad is more real than the miracles you ask for. As you really let that in, wow, I give way too much weight to the negativity. It's running my life. There's a cost. It costs me my happiness. It costs me my peace of mind. I could be putting more weight on the goodness, the truth, and the beauty. And when I do, that's when the solutions come. That's when my creativity flows. That's when the opportunities show up. Does that help?
Yes, and at the same time, it's just the whole avoidance of the taxes. I mean, it's been a thing that's been going on for a long time. So that people have said, well, oh, don't bother with that, with the taxes. You're not earning enough, and all that sort of thing. So it become this for me this big thing that I was allowing to just carry on. It just seems so huge. But what you're saying is that I need to forgive myself, I guess, as well, don't I?
Well, yes. And you also need to stop avoiding the conversations that need to happen, but don't come to the table of those conversations as your child self.
No.
Make sure you're in your adult. And you know you're in your adult when you really know that your higher self loves you,
Yeah.
and that you have the help you need. If you're not feeling that, there's more work to be done with your child and your adolescent. They're not to blame for how you feel, but they did initiate those feelings. They have a past that established how to respond when they're terrified, when they're not the authority, and they were never the authority, and so there's a whole lot of stuff there. So as you use the touchstone of when you have been the authority, what did you author? What did you create? What beautiful things did you engage in? What activities and what relationships and what projects? And really fill yourself up with the knowing that you have the authority to create reality. And that doesn't mean all alone anymore. For too long it did. Well, if it's up to me, it's just not going to happen. It is up to you, but you're not alone. When you let your higher self really support you, the miracles come, the magic happens. Really let that in. And notice that when you're avoiding, at least make sure you're having fun so that you shift your resonance. Because if you're avoiding and you feel guilty or you feel bad, that's really a waste of your life force energy.
Yeah.
That's just anesthetizing, numbing out.
Yes, which I do a lot. Yes.
So when you avoid, say, you know what? Okay, Tara says it's okay to avoid, but make sure I'm having fun. Okay, what would be fun? And then you're going to go have a little bit of fun, and then you're going to realize, you know what? I have more energy now. Maybe I'll go look at it again. Maybe I'll go make a phone call. Maybe I'll send an email. Maybe I'll read the letter, whatever it is. Maybe I'll just find out what I need to do. But I'm going to do it when I feel good, not when I feel bad. And it's up to me to choose how I feel.
Yeah.
You have lots of tools to shift your state. You've created an abundance of tools. How wonderful. Give yourself credit for that.
Yes, I feel. Yes, I feel that I can't remember what any of them are.
Well, yes, when you're in avoidance, you cannot because you disconnect. So the first step is always to reconnect. Oh my gosh, I feel disconnected. I better reconnect. And what's the best way to reconnect? Well, let's do something fun. You live in Venice Beach.
Yeah.
There must be something fun you can do.
Yeah.
Just walking on the beach can be fun.
Yeah.
Can be reconnecting.
Yes, and these days I tend to make it. Oh well, I need to walk on the beach and program for this and do that, and not just enjoy being by the beach. Yes, going down that hole.
Important to recognize, oh, I've become my own critical parent.
Yeah.
I'm not really letting it be fun. I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Part of my life focus. All right, Henry, you're right on track. So as you re-listen, and we do appreciate that you are so willing to grow, to change. And so this topic, as you let it be what it is, you also want to give it permission to go away. Oh, but I've gotten so much out of it. I've learned so much about myself. I've grown so very much. Yeah, and there are easier ways to grow, more fun ways to grow. So as you recognize, oh, I'm hanging on to some of my duty and obligation because I grow so much when I'm dealing with it, or when I'm avoiding it, even. I'm still growing. But it's not a beautiful way of growing. There's suffering and struggle in it. And as you really let in, I don't really want to suffer anymore. And I have been suffering. I want to be more free. I want to choose something new. And really let that be okay for these issues that you've been dealing with for the last few years to just end. I'm going to end them. I'm going to be done with them. I don't know how. I don't have the solutions yet, but I'm going to dream the dream where they're completed and I am free. And I'm going to focus on what it feels like once they're completed. I'm not going to visualize the completing of them. I'm going to visualize who I am once I am free of them, because that's what matters. Give yourself that permission to be done, to finish it, so that you can be more free to have fun and to create something new. All right. So, to each and every one of you, as you understand, these conversations are for all of you. Something in Jessica's process, in Henry's process, not all of it, you are not them, but something spoke to you, opened something up, gave you new understanding of something you're dealing with. That's what there is to focus on. So as you go into your night, ask for a healing dream around something that's troubling you, that you feel less free around. Give your higher self permission to intervene on your behalf, to bring magic and miracles into whatever topic. Nothing is too small and nothing is too great. All right. And so on that note, we go for now. Certainly so, we go with love and peace as we bring Katharina back. Until next time.
Stop.